It's quite simple. I mean, I was just a refugee from Afghanistan in Pakistan, and we lived in a very small town that was mostly people from Afghanistan. And right before we moved to Australia, it was starting to get quite bad, and we were starting to get really scared of our lives there too, because we started getting target killed there too. So, well, they call it target killing. So they're like targeting specific groups of people and killing them. And also, we belong to a religious minority there as well. And so, as you might have heard, the Taliban and them doing religious and ethnic cleansing of people that they believe are infidels. And so, for that reason, we get killed in Afghanistan. And so, a lot of people have been migrating and going to neighboring countries like Iran and Pakistan and even to Syria. So we were one of the groups of people that moved to Pakistan, and then lately now they're starting to target kill Shia Muslims in Pakistan as well. And so we were one of the main targets because of the fact that our facial features are quite distinct from the general population. So then it was very easy for them to come into the communities and just shoot at people. And my basic fear was my life and safety, because we grew up in a community where everyone was just fearful of their life, and where we had moved countries because we were escaping for our life. So it was kind of on the mind of everyone living there, and we all just wanted to live a better life and a safer life to begin with. So my father came to Australia in 2000 by boat, and he was on a temporary protection visa for about 3 years, and then once he actually got his permanent residency, he applied for my mother and myself and my brothers to come over. So he applied for a visa, and it was a very long process. We had to go and give interviews in the country, in Pakistan's capital city, so we had to travel for that. And we came back, and then after a while they asked us to come and do a DNA test, so we went and we did DNA tests to prove that yes, we are his family. And then after that, we waited for a while and we got visas. So my mother and I got a visa, but my brothers didn't because they were over 18 and no longer dependent on my father. But so technically my dad sponsored us over on a protection visa. It was quite difficult for my father, obviously, because he came by a boat, so it's quite a dangerous journey, and we didn't really know much about that. And even while my father was here for a very long time, we had no idea whether he made it or whether he was safe. I think, because I don't remember much, but my mom says that she didn't know about my father's whereabouts for about 9 months. And so it was quite difficult for us because we were living in Pakistan and my dad was here, and so it was quite dangerous, and we didn't have access to many resources there either because it wasn't our country. We weren't really legal there, and so it was very difficult. In Afghanistan, I mean, women's rights are pretty much not recognized at all, because you see instances of actual rape victims being imprisoned because they've done something immoral, or they really don't even have anyone to stand up for them. So oftentimes when you go to prisons, especially women prisons in Afghanistan, female prisons, all the people there are mostly just victims of rape, or they're people that have escaped from home because they're facing abuse, but then they go out to seek some kind of help, and then they get chucked into prison because they've done something that's against culture and against tradition and against religion. So women are quite voiceless in Afghanistan. Because I was born in a small village in Afghanistan, we didn't have access to doctors or anything, so I was actually born at home, and there were no medical checkups or anything, and so turns out I was born with congenital hip dysplasia, so I had dislocated hips, and around about the age of 11 or 12 it started playing up, and my parents were like, my mom was like, why are you limping? And I started complaining of pain, and so we started going to doctors in Pakistan. Really scared, and then we went to one other doctor and told him that it's likely that we might be going to Australia soon, and the doctor has suggested that we do an operation, but this doctor was actually just a children's doctor. He said, maybe it's not as simple as these guys are saying, so maybe you should just wait till you go to Australia, and then you can get checked up properly there and do whatever you have to do over here. So when we came to Australia and then we went to a specialist, they explained to us just how complicated it was and how much of a great danger we actually escaped from, because had I done the operation there, I probably might have had very damaged legs and probably wouldn't have been able to walk anymore. So currently I'm doing what I've always wanted to do. I'm studying, I'm going to uni, and I'm in my second year of psychology, doing my second year of psychology. I have a really good social network, enjoying life, I'm very happy, and I'm actually managing to help out other people. We're in a group of students, that kind of get together all the time and help other students. So if they're in high school, we try to kind of guide them towards uni and further education. And so trying to do a lot here and there, and just trying to contribute to the community, and just also trying to learn more about Afghanistan and learn more about Pakistan and what we can do from here and just globally. And in regards to the current policies, I mean, of course I'm not an expert and I don't really know the answers, but as someone because I am from a refugee background and I've sort of faced it in my own family and in my own life, it does seem like pure neglect, you know, the fact that we're trying to just kind of make it sound like it's not our problem at all. Oh, let's just direct them somewhere else, let's just not deal with it. And especially what's hard for me as a refugee is that the way we treat asylum seekers and the way we actually use the term boat people or illegal migrants has very negative impacts on people that are already living here, because people living here are then perceived very negatively. I can see why that might change someone's perception towards me, and I'm already living here and it's affecting my life as well. People don't, again, it fuels into the racism and it fuels into the discrimination, and even with current policies and turning boats back and turning boats and sending boat arrivals to places like Papua New Guinea, it doesn't solve the problem, because we put them in indefinite detention, and then they still have families that are depending on them from wherever they came. Because like my father, he came here in 2000, but he wasn't the only one who was in need of safety or who was in danger. He was here primarily because he wanted to save his family, and so we were still there, we were still in the hot waters, we were still scared and still struggling and still likely to get killed or likely to be in great danger. So it's kind of shocking, it's quite shocking.